Hey friend, in this tutorial, I'm really excited about this tutorial actually. I've been working really hard behind the scenes on my third everyday watercolor how-to book called Everyday Watercolor Oceans. It comes out summer 2022. And today we're painting a similar ocean landscape or ocean overview of waves crashing onto a beach that I'm including in my book. It's going to be slightly different, but in this tutorial today, we are painting sea foam. We're painting a tropical overhead view of a tropical ocean waves breaking onto the sand. And I think you're going to love it. It may look challenging at first, but it's actually very simple, just requires patience. And there's also a burning question that we have, 3 burning questions that we have during this video that we need your help answering. So make sure you watch through the end because there's some really ridiculous questions that I still don't know the answer to. So I would love your input and help. Also, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of our future tutorials or announcements. If you're ready to paint some ocean vibe, let's dive in. All right, so in this tutorial, we're gonna be painting basically pretend you're a drone or really high up in the sky and you're looking straight down on the ocean. You can see the shore and the nice color gradient from that sandy color to a beautiful turquoise, glassy turquoise to a deep, deep, deep blue. Maybe we're in Bermuda. Or somewhere tropical, and we've got that bright turquoise blue in our more towards the shore. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with Prussian blue. I'm using my size 16 brush because I'm going all across my paper. So I want a lot of coverage, but you can use a flat brush if you want to. Not necessary to use a round brush. I'm mixing up Prussian blue with Mars black for that deep, deep ocean color for our, as it's getting further and further away from the shore, the water is getting deeper and it's therefore getting darker. But when it's thinner or a more shallow area, we're gonna do our turquoise using cobalt turquoise. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a decent amount of water on my brush so I can spread it pretty evenly across this big broad stroke. And as I come down, I'm adding more water on my brush. And around here is when I'm going to get into my turquoise color. So I'm still doing this deep blue. And then adding more water to that edge and pulling it down. I'm going to start kind of curving this section here. It's not just going to be, the ocean has many currents, it has rip currents, and the water isn't just flowing straight to the shore. So we're gonna have this kind of S-curve situation as we're starting to get light with this color, this darker blue color. You can also add water drops to your ocean, and when it dries, it adds a fun, crazy texture. You can already see it happening when it's still wet. So right here, this edge is gonna be really wet, and I'm gonna grab my cobalt turquoise or manganese blue. I always mix it up. And we are going with a thick mixture and a decent amount of water. We're going to pull that down. So you wanna work quickly from each section so that you have a nice smooth transition. It's wet and wet situation happening. And we're fading to a lighter turquoise as we come to our shore. And same thing, I'm gonna curve it a little bit instead of going straight across. about here, let's say. This is too much of a hard line, so I'm gonna go back over it with some water and a light turquoise and just kind of bring that up a little bit more. Help them blend for a more smooth gradient. And maybe some more of that dark color. Gotta work quick, that's why how you're able to get those smooth transitions. Okay, so we've got our turquoise area, and we're coming to our sand. For my sand, I'm just using yellow ochre and maybe a touch of lemon yellow deep. Go in here. And pulling it down. Okay, that is done, and I'm going to go back while this is still drying with my dark blue. I'm gonna go back in with my darker color and deepen this top edge even more. And right here where I'm going to show a wave with some white gouache. Now while this is still damp, I'm going to grab just water on my size 16 brush and do some water droplets, because this is going to create a fun water texture when it dries. You could also sprinkle some salt on top of your painting to create a fun water effect. You don't want to overdo this though, because it can sometimes dry funky and weird, but as you can see, it's already starting to dry and it creates that like fun, foamy texture in water. So we're now gonna wait for this to dry completely, and then we're gonna add more foam details to our waves and darker details around those white parts of the foam parts of our waves, and we'll be done. So super easy. Anyone can do that. At this stage, we could call it quits and say, look at my beautiful ocean landscape. Maybe put a couple towels down here or whatever, make it cute. But right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the white designer gouache. I use Winsor Newton designer gouache in permanent white. I had this old jar that I added it to with a little bit of water to make it more liquid, but only a little bit of water. And then I'm gonna grab my size 2 brush. I want a little more water. My size 2 brush, and we're gonna add in some fine, bright white details to create foam. That sea foam when waves are crashing is what we're going for. So I've already got this nice appearing wave texture here with the water droplets that I add in. They follow the same kind of curve. So I'm definitely gonna put some foam there, and I'm probably gonna put some foam down here that kind of bleeds up into here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna work down here because I don't wanna smear. So I'm gonna go here first. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow this crest of this wave with a line. And some areas are gonna be really thin, some are gonna be thicker. But I'm following this wave. And then just basically going back and creating these little shapes. They're like little rocks. So at this point of the video, I'm not quite liking how the waves are turning out. It's just not what I envisioned in my head. And I wanted to keep it in the video because I think it's important, especially for people just starting out, to see that even I make mistakes or do things that I don't like. But if you stick with it and you keep messing with it and trying something different on that same painting, you never know what might happen. And I end up really, really, really liking the results, actually probably more so than I would if what I would have executed would have actually been executed. So keep watching. And if this is you or you give up easily on something, keep working on it and stick with it is my message. Let's keep watching. So I'm going to go back up until this thin white edge to not liking those bubbles. So we're just gonna blend it, make it a whole section of foam with a crispy white edge. Sometimes you like things, sometimes you don't, but we're working with it as we go. And blending that in, and then just leaving the crisp white edge. And then I'm going to go back in towards that white line and darken that with my dark blue. Get even darker the closer we are to this white foam. So there is a good visual for, even if you're not liking how something's turning out, you can keep working with it and it might look completely different than what you thought you were going to do, but I'm going to add maybe another thin line around that edge, some of it, to thicken up some of that foam. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my size 2 brush, and with a darker blue, Prussian blue and black, I'm going to, because of this harsh contrast, we're going to overlay and do a soft gradient on top of this turquoise from blue, dark Prussian blue and black to turquoise. But I'm using my size 2 so I can first outline these bright white details and go in these little cracks outline the foam a little bit more. Maybe bring in some lighter lines here where I'm going to blend. So I've got water on my brush and I'm just massaging it into the blue and pulling it down this wave. With my smallest size brush, and then just kind of fading into these Z's. Taking my time on each section to really make this foaminess pop. Grabbing water and calming down. Then over here. So we're just spending time. We're not doing anything extremely extravagant or difficult to do. We're just spending time around these foamy details to really pull out that contrast, grabbing water and pulling it down. And as you get further down, you want to make sure that you don't have this hard line. So we're grabbing water before it dries and bringing it across with a bigger brush. I've got my size 6 brush. Till you fade away. And then going back to this section and adding my darker color. Cross over here so we can spend time on this area of the wave.
What was your favorite beach vacation, Jenna?
Well, I grew up at the beach, so spoiled. But my favorite beach vacation was, I don't know. We didn't really do beach vacations a ton growing up because we grew up at the beach. But I liked going to Cabo with Jenna Rainey.
So fun.
So fun and so relaxing.
Tulum, too.
And Tulum was nice. We ate in a tree house. What was your favorite beach vacation?
Yeah, probably one of those. Hawaii was fun, too.
Mm-hmm.
This painting probably reminds me most of Hawaii, actually.
Because the turquoise.
One of the beaches that we snorkeled.
Turtle something.
Yeah, whatever that one was called. But it was super bright blue.
So since we asked ourselves, now I'm on to you. What was your favorite beach vacation? Viewer of this YouTube video, whoever you are.
We want to know.
We do. And do we include lakes as beaches?
Now, this is a great debate. Actually, this is really what I want commented. Now that you just said that, May video guy say a little something?
Yes.
Okay, story time with the video guy for anyone that cares. If you don't and you leave this video, bye. Back when I was in college, do you know what I'm going to talk about?
Probably.
One of my roommates and I had a discussion as to what a beach is.
We are, by the way, this is in Chicago.
Yeah, this is in Chicago, and I'm from Wisconsin.
Lakes.
Land of lakes. So, we have a discussion about what constitutes a beach, and my argument was lakes count, like if there's a body of sand on a body of water that people lay out on, whether it's a lake or an ocean, that is a beach. My college roommate disagreed and said it had to be an ocean to be called a beach. Commenters, please weigh in, and I will be informing my college roommate to see who wins the debate.
I am also in agreement with college roommate. I grew up on the Pacific Ocean. I get it. Michigan, Wisconsin, very similar, but it's flat. There's not many there's no waves. There's no current. Well, maybe there is. I don't know.
But, okay, so this is my follow-up question then. What's it called? What's the sand at let's say if there's a lake.
Fake news. It's called fake news.
If there's sand on a lake, what do you call that? Just sand on a lake?
Dirt and water.
It's called a beach.
Fine.
Thank you. Wow, that didn't take much convincing. That was so easy. College roommate was not quite as easy to convince.
Well, I'm just tired. Focused on this painting. I'm just kind of bringing this blue down while this is still kind of wet down here. For more blurries. And I want to add another wave down here. So we're gonna grab some more white and do it right here. You want to make sure your background color is dark enough for the white to stand out. So I'm not going to do it right here because that's pretty much white. So I'm going to go along this edge, thin. Some strokes are thin and like barely there. Some are chunky and fat. Adding another line above that for another little layer of foam. Where we can add more blue in between those gaps. Now washing that off, grabbing cobalt turquoise.
Manganese blue.
Manganese blue. And
this really makes me want a vacation. TBH.
Now water to pull this down. And we can add foam right here too if we want. We leave that hard line and we don't blend it too much. Or you can go all the way down for a smooth gradient if you're done with the waves. If you're over it, pull. Maybe that just goes to there. Someday I'll be done with this. Someday I'll get to rest. If you don't know this about me already, I make up jingles. Woo! Make up jingles while I work. It helps the time pass, especially when you're doing these mindless over and over and over details.
Well, it's worth it. It looks great.
Thanks, Jen. My brain hurts. I would love a pina colada and some baking in the sun right about now. Oh, now I'm going to pull this edge down a little bit. This one's going to be some more foam. This is going to be just smoothed.
Going back for more foam.
Just a tiny...
It's impressive.
Well, because I just see the opportunity right there, and I don't want to be lazy.
Good for you.
Thanks, John. Someday I'll be done with this. Someday. Name that tune. I don't even know it, I don't think. I know it's from something.
Knowing you, I've never seen this before, but I'm assuming it's from Les Mis.
No. But it's potentially Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, what is it? Oh, no, that's gonna bother me.
Comment below. What's that jingle? We need you people.
Please.
This is the third time that we've requested commenting.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Nerd. What was your favorite beach vacation?
Oh.
What's a beach? What's that jingle?
What is a beach?
Important life questions with the Rainies.
And oh dang it! It was on the tip of my tongue. Oh,
Had it, lost it.
oh, I hate that. Oh, yeah. Pretty positive it's from a Phantom of the Opera, though. Dude. Fun fact: Jenna Rainey, also previously known as Jenna Fawcett, grew up with a mother who was obsessed with Phantom of the Opera. Therefore, she also became obsessed.
She being you and I are talking.
Definitely talking in third person.
Yeah.
So
That looks really cool.
Thanks.
Like crashing onto the beach.
Yeah, it's the edge of the wave. It's the foam. It's the foam, John. It's...
I very much enjoy the waves crashing onto the beach.
Want to enjoy it.
Are you done?
I
Calling
believe so. The last thing I would do is sprinkle white spray. But I don't know if it's gonna mess it up.
Where? I wouldn't do it. It would look like stars.
Well, there you go, folks. We could definitely add more waves, but we're not doing so hot. We need to take a nap.
We did a lot of filming.
Yeah. Did a lot of filming today. This isn't the only video we've filmed today. So, there you go. Beautiful overhead shot of a tropical beach situation. Color gradient is what we started with. And then I showed you what we do if we make mistakes and we don't like something and we go over it. And we've got some cresties of our waves with some white foam happening. And I think it's pretty freaking cool.
I also think it's cool.
So we've got you commenting on 3 different things, supposedly. So I'll see you in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I know it requires patience doing all those tiny details of the sea foam and all of that, but well worth it. Huge, huge reward in the end. It looks more realistic. It looks more detailed and fun. It's a beautiful piece to hang on your wall. look at and think and just be transported to your tropical vacation. Make sure you comment below with your favorite tropical vacation, your what's a beach, are lakes included, and what is that song? I still don't know. Thanks so much for your help and input in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.